Hello, hello, hello. Derek and I are back. Week 6 Fantasy Outlook. It is a big double game week. So if you are at the bottom, you can make massive moves. And if you are at the top where we're all bunched together, you can kind of separate yourself if you have a big week. I know last week was really good for some of us and really bad for others. For me personally, only 54 points and I took a -4. However, I remained in the top 10. As far as the top 10 goes, we have Cody Weber with 397 in first, Chris Watson with 391 in second, Steve B in third with 396, Chad Arnett in fourth with 383, Jose Holiday 376th in fifth, Derek, the show host, with 52 last week in sixth, Chris Adams, 371 in seventh. And now 8 through 10 are all of us are at 370. So, however, they parse that out, it's Hector Velasquez, me, Chris Dustin, and Adam Haas is in 11th, 1 point behind. Some notables last week: Chris Clark had 70. We had my buddy Aaron from Rev Rumors started off the season really bad and has climbed inside the top 20 the last 2 weeks. He had 60 last week. Going down, Jeremy Caldwell has fallen out of the top. He has 58 points last week and 338 overall. Josh Spivey is at 28th. He remained the same with 323. Um, Wes Kirk climbed from 38 to 35 with a 65-point weekend at 301.
Respect. He's had nothing but green arrows like the past 4 weeks. So
Yep. Yeah. Wes has a. Well, you go ahead. You can talk about Wes.
that's massive improvement, though.
Yep. I mean, he started off really bad, and he's been trying to get better. I'm looking for Chris Whalen. I can't find him.
Oh, he's somewhere down in the bowels of this league. Oh, there you are, Chris. 15th.
15th. Oh, so he's not that far behind. And we have a change in the bottom. We have Jeff Thompson dropping to 50 and Crown President Lisa Raymond jumping to 49. So you two are down there just battling it out for not being in the Sacco. So that's all I have. Derek is going to take the show from here. Derek, the floor is yours.
Uh, where do I start with this past week? First of all, I only ended up with 52 points, like Sam said. Yeah, it was terrible. I had to have 2 auto subs to save my ass. No clean sheets. I think I had 1 goal, and that 1 goal was completely BS. I'm not arguing it's 5 free points, but it was BS. Uh, Jeez, I don't know where to start with this week. First of all, if you had Sasha Kleston, New York earned a penalty in that game, but instead of Sasha Kleston taking it like he did last year, no. Bradley Wright Phillips comes up, takes the penalty, and misses. That's just the beginning of this week's bullshit. Not only did Wright Phillips miss 2 last year to get him off penalties, he missed this one, and it was very poorly taken. And like usual, New York looked like shit. So if you're thinking about adding a New York player this week, don't do it. They're just so bad right now. They've been shut out 4 times in 5 games. The only reason I have a New York player on my team this week is because I had him for the weeks before. This is just bad. New York looked like shit. Columbus looked like shit. Toronto looked like shit. If you have Giovinco, uh, he started playing like deep lying playmaker like Pedro Morales. That's not exactly where you want Giovinco, to be honest. And I know he scored, but this was right after New England had a penalty call shouted away, and Toronto just cleared it, and then Josie kicked it to Giovinco, who had a deflected goal. Still, they didn't play well. Am I considering dropping Giovinco? Hell yes, I am. He's not. I know he scored, but that's not justification of his price tag. It's just so bad. And then if you had a Vancouver defender, who the hell saw DCU scoring 4 goals? You didn't do well this week unless you were full of SKC and DCU players, which makes no sense, honestly. Dallas drew it home again, and a lot of fantasy owners are pissed about Teshwak and Deli taking penalties to Max Rudy. I'm one of them. But honestly, I don't know who took it after Mario Diaz, who once again set out because MLS to keep their injuries secret. And if you had a Houston defender for whatever reason, when you give up a goal in the past 10 seconds of the game to get rid of your clean sheet bonus, that's not going to make a lot of owners happy. Then you got New York and Chicago, who opening day combined for 7 goals. You want to know how many they scored yesterday? 0. 0. Absolutely fucking 0. And then you go to the nightcap, LA and Portland, and not only did LA suck, they only scored their goal on an own goal. Their offense looked like crap, outside of Sebastian Lletget, really. But now Darlington Nagby's out for I don't know how long on a card that should have been a freaking red. And speaking of red cards, for once, I don't know of any red cards that were called this week. I really don't. Oh, and to add to the rant, Colorado lost their clean sheet because Zach McMath decided to play sweeper keeper and missed badly, giving Joel Plata another goal. Which, by the way, Joel Plata has like 48 fantasy points. If he had a double game week, I'd tell you to add him, but he doesn't. I mean, you could still add him if you really want to. He's on that big of fire. Ran over. All right, yeah. All right. No, I just had the rant about that. I was so pissed because the point totals on my team of my starters before auto sub were 0, 4, 1, 3, 2, 2, 7 without the armband, 7, 8, and 3. What?
Honestly, though, it just goes to how unpredictable MLS is.
God, I mean, I posted this all week. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
And let's be honest with each other. Everybody, good for you if you did good last week. But if you didn't get double game week players in for this week, you might be in trouble this week.
I mean, if you didn't have some form of resentment last week, you probably don't have enough double game week players.
But anyway, let's get it going. Goalkeepers for this week.
Goalkeepers, Jesse Gonzalez has not started the past 2 games. I am not keeping him just in case he doesn't start these double game weeks because it's not like Chris Sates impressed me. He didn't. He really didn't. But Dallas isn't the first game this week, and I don't even want to take the chance of not having 2 games with Jesse Gonzalez. I'd rather go Tim Melia, who is practically guaranteed 2 games on a top defense. SKC's allowed 3 goals in 5 games. Adam Quarce, I'm not even touching him until Liam Ridgewell comes back. Let's see. David Bingham, if you really want to go away from the grain where everyone's getting Melia, you can go David Bingham. He's pretty much guaranteed to start both games too. Let's see who else. Zach McMath. Colorado's not going to kill you with the minus goal bonuses, but then again, it's Colorado. Well, why are you going to torture yourself? Pablo's going to probably start as USL goalkeeper in the second game. That's what he does. And Luis Robles, like I said, I'm not touching a Red Bulls player until they actually decide that they're out of the preseason and playing in the MLS because they look like shit. So Tim Melia or David Bingham.
Well, and you know what? I just looked in. I was just looking just because you were talking about it. Bingham is 6, and Melia is 5.7. So it's like, why are you gonna get the cheaper goalie? Or why are you gonna get a more expensive goalie if you're transferring your goalie out? And I think that for 5.1, McMath is probably the steal of the group.
Zach McMath is your lower cost, high reward option because, like I said, Colorado's not going to kill you with minus goal bonuses. David Bingham is like a differential pick who can do really well because San Jose is a good team. And Tim Melia is the safe, you know exactly what you're going to get because SKC is pretty damn good.
All right, defenders.
I personally like Axel Holberg this week. I added him last week. He got 4 points, 2 bonus points. He finally showed the Axel Holberg that happened last year where he got 9 clearances. And I'm kind of glad he didn't get an error leading the goal for Joel Plata because he was the last one to touch it. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to kick it back to McMath or something like that because McMath was on the edge of the box. He didn't see him coming, and it just loops over McMath. So, but I still like them. I still like Colorado's defense. Axel Holberg, I believe, don't quote me on this because no one in their right mind will watch Colorado for entertainment. Axel Holberg might be the only Colorado defender that hasn't been subbed out this year. He's played 90 minutes in all 5 of their games. And in all 5 of their games have either been 1-0 or 1-1. So like I said, they're not going to kill you his goal bonuses. And if he gets his defensive bonus points at 5.5, go for it. I also have Matt Hedges from this double game week. He needs to justify his price point. I mean, I was going to drop him after this anyway, but he hasn't gained value since the season started. And I pretty much only kept him because of these double game weeks. I know that's terrible.
Well, but he's 7th overall for defenders, so that's not that bad.
So it's still not terrible. Dallas, Maynard Figueroa is likely to start. I'm not sure how Pereira's going to do his rotations. Really, Matt Hedges is probably the safest bet. You could really go with any of the rest of them, but just beware of the rotations. There's no Hedges is probably your best bet for that. Portland, Nat Borchers, and no one else. Yeah, they look like crap. Red Bull, skip. San Jose, Clarence Goodson hasn't played in, I think it was 3 weeks. Good news, Sean Francis is back. Him and Marvell Wynn are like the weirdest players ever because they somehow accumulate a bunch of bonus points from the wing. I forgot who started in place of Goodson the other day. Victor Bernardes had a own goal. I'm not touching their center backs. Let's see. SKC. Who was it? Kevin Ellis went off injured middle of the game. Ike Opara came in. Matt Beasler still out of the concussion. If you really, really want SKC defenders, you have Nuno Coelho. You could always go that route. Just know, I still don't think he's had a bonus point this year.
And Dia had a good game last week. He had 7.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick up Dia. Cheaper option, still with the clean sheet bonuses, and he gets more bonus points. I think Chase Myers is still out injured too.
Myers played, but he only had 1 last week.
Oh. Just beware of their center back rotation. Personally, you can wait. They're the first game on Wednesday, so you could personally wait until you see their lineup before you add in a Kansas City center back. So, yeah, that'll pretty much do it for defenders. I don't got much other than that.
All right, well, let's move along then. Midfielders.
Colorado. I'm just going in the order they have them on here. Colorado, Marco Papa finally played his first 90 minutes this week. He only had 3 points. Dylan Powers ended up with like 4 or so. Like I said, I have no idea how Pablo's going to do his rotations. He's usually an asshole about it. And now they got Jermaine Jones coming back in. So even though I like the consistency and the 4 or 5 points a game that Powers gives you and the opportunity for attacking bonuses Papa gives you, you have way better options than a team that scored 3 goals. So Colorado's not exactly a good place to look for offense.
The other team in that game is a great place to look for offense.
Yep. Kansas City. New York. I still have Sasha Kleshin, and I honestly don't know why. Oh, yeah, wait, double game week. He doesn't take free kicks anymore. I can't explain it. I really can't. He's their best free kick taker. Even in dangerous situations, he gives it up to Felipe. You're your team's best player. Take the damn free kick. Yeah, then I'm not really touching their midfielders because Grella and Sam always get substituted out, and Felipe and Dax are both defensive midfielders who have not played well. So, San Jose. Excuse me. I've had a couple people talk to me about Alberto Quintero. Yeah, I know he's 6.6, but he's a defensive midfielder. How many times do these players score? Not a lot. So he did score last week. I'm still not picking him. Let's see. Chase Salinas. If there's really one San Jose midfielder I want, it's Simon Dawkins. Less than 1% owned. And averages somewhere around 5, 6, 7 points a game where he doesn't get red carded.
I can check, but keep going.
But yeah, in the 3 games where he hasn't been red carded, I think it's total like 6, 7, and 6 or something like that. Either way, I mean that's a safe bet for attacking bonuses. And they're playing New York at home, like I said, who's look like shit, and Portland away, which isn't that bad of a road trip, and whose defense have looked like shit. I'm gonna say that word a lot. I feel. FC
He's
Dallas.
got Dawkins as 5 the first game, 7 the second game, red card in the third game, suspended the fourth game, and 6 this past week.
I mean, that's a good 10, 12 points for your double game week. I'm not gonna argue with that. I mean, I just want safety in the points, honestly, and I want as many opportunities to get those points. FC Dallas, yeah, I know me. I know myself. I said that I thought Mauro Diaz would play. I know a bunch of the podcast guys said Mauro Diaz would play, and you could ask them. I could like tag them into Twitters or whatever. That they thought Diaz was going to play, but they had no idea because of MLS's injury secrecy, which needs to change.
Goal USA wrote an article right before the game that said Diaz was going to play.
Yeah, and then there's a Dallas fan on the podcast who said it's just leg tightness. He's maybe going to play. I kept him just in case he did play because he's a great option.
All got screwed.
Yeah, seeing there's only 2 extra days, I don't think you have a choice but to drop him, especially since he's not the first game. You could always pick him up after. Actually, their first game's away. If he doesn't travel to Portland, you need to drop him. I thought it was at home. No, it's away. If you find out that he doesn't travel to Portland, I'll probably retweet that. You can feel free to drop him for any of the other midfielders. Fabian Castillo is extremely maddening. Michel Barrios is maddening.
Rudy's not maddening, but that's not a midfielder.
Rudy's decent. We'll get to that in the forward. I like Rudy this week. Carlos Goretzo is a yellow card machine. He's played 6 games in MLS. He's already 1 card away from a accumulation suspension. What? Come on, man. So I'm just avoiding anyone that's not Mauro Diaz, and he probably won't play. Portland midfield. Do you have Diego Valeri yet? No.
Do I?
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I captained Diego Valeri last week.
All right. So if you don't have Diego Valeri, stop the video. Go get him. Captain him. You're good. Because let's check his point totals.
Sure, I'll pull it up. You keep going. I'll pull it up.
Other than that, I really don't want one on their midfield because I don't.
All right. Valeri's point totals are 13, 5, 8, 9, and 7.
Hello, bonus point machine. How many bonus points did he have this week?
2.
He had 2. He usually gets more than that. He was averaging like 4 at one point.
Yeah, no. Going into last week, he was averaging 4.
Still, I don't want Diego Chara. I don't really want anyone else in that midfield. Not sure Lucas Milano's a midfielder. I don't own him anyway. But yeah, with Nagby out with the it should have been a red card tackle. I hope Disco changes that because if not, it's gonna be a lot of unhappy people because that was a pretty damn obvious red card. And I hope Nagby is okay for Portland and for the U.S. national team's sake because that was a terrible challenge last night. SKC is probably where you're going to find your best midfield options. I think Espinosa's back from suspension. You could probably get away with that, even though I wouldn't. Defensive midfielder. Benny Feilhaber's back. Played a lot better this week. A lot better. Got 9 points. I think he scored. I don't know.
He did score.
Did. So 9 points. I feel confident adding Feilhaber, especially since he takes PKs. I mean, yeah, he's not going to take corners and free kicks like he did last year, but he's taking PKs. And he's on a great team, providing assists and goals. And he's a good player. And if you really want to add him, go ahead. Go ahead. I think he's at like 11.1 or something like that. I know a bunch of people that are going to add Graham Zusi because he takes the set pieces. Yeah, that's also a good option. Don't know how many points he ended up with last week.
Zusi last week had 9 points last week, so that was I think that was his best week.
All right, so they're both good options for the double game week.
Yep, that's his best week last week.
Yeah. So you got Zusi on the left, Foulhaber in the middle. I forgot who plays on the right, but
Quintilla?
oh yeah, don't draft him. I'm just waiting for Justin Mapp to get healthy, or Brad Davis to play, but whatever. Yeah, no, that'll pretty much do your midfielders. Top pick for midfielders this week is Diego Valeri, quickly followed by Benny Foulhaber. So, I still have Ignacio Piatti, and you shouldn't drop him to get. You should already have Valeri, and you should find some other way except dropping Piatti to go get Foulhaber. Because
All right.
game week in 8, and I'm not dropping that. So forwards, Colorado, you can go ahead and skip that. They're all shit. I'm not even sure their forwards are going to score this year. Speaking of forwards who don't score, Bradley Wright Phillips is completely ignorable. How many shots do you need to score Bradley Wright Phillips?
I don't know.
He took 8 shots in the first half. And then he had 2 just golden opportunities and couldn't score. The PK, like I said, was just so bad. And then, like 3 minutes left in the game, he's 2 yards out. He's 2 yards from the goal. Yeah, he was in a crowd, but all he had to do was just hit it towards the net and it goes in. No, he hits it right at Tim Melia. No, I mean, this was the guy who broke the MLS goal scoring record 2 years ago. Hasn't scored in 5 games. Don't touch him. San Jose, actually like their forwards this week, both of them. Quincy America is cheaper, allows you to go get other high-priced options. Thing is, he'll probably be somewhere around 8 to 10 points this game week, maybe a goal for you. If you like consistency in your points this year, Chris Wondolowski is where you want to go. He's more expensive, but
10.7 versus 7.6.
So 10.7 is Wondolowski, the 7.6 is America. Wondolowski.
A 7-point difference between them overall.
Wondolowski's ahead of him, right?
Yeah, by 7.
All right. So if you really want to go America, I'm not going to argue with you on that because he always has an opportunity for it. And I like them when they play together because Wondolowski is going to get you probably about 6 points in both games on average, and America is probably going to be somewhere around that too. So I really don't see the difference between the two of them.
Then you got Adi and Urruti.
Yes.
And Dwyer.
Yeah, no, Sam just summed that up in about 1 sentence. Maxi Urruti's it, Fernando Adi's it, and Dom Dwyer's it. Just know about Dom Dwyer, he does have a double game week in week 8. Actually, for that matter, so does Adi, but Portland has a bye week in week 7.
And how do you feel about like you told everybody to go out and get Feilhaber? So how do you feel about like the Feilhaber Dwyer stack? Like, because then if they get shut out, you're really up Hoops Creek without a paddle.
How many goals has SKC scored this year? I mean, they're playing Colorado at home.
Exactly.
And Dallas away.
2 tough defenses.
I know people that are going to stack them.
I know, but I'm asking you how you feel about the stack.
Not as good as a lot of people.
Because I was just looking at it right before the show started, and I don't feel good about that stack either. Just because, we've talked on the show week in and week out about Colorado having a good defense. Like you just said, they've only given up 3 goals all year. And then we all know that if Dallas is on, Dallas is on. And no one's going to score on Dallas when they're defending well.
I'm hoping that Dallas gets back, but if I'm adding one of the 2 Kansas City attackers, I'm adding Feilhaber. just because I'm a midfield homer. I posted this earlier on Twitter. I like Wondolowski more this week. I like Dwyer a lot more in week 8 than this double game week. Let's see, who do they play in week 8? It's a lot easier, trust me.
Here, I'll tell you. You can keep going on though. Talk about Adi.
It's Vancouver and LA.
Okay.
Yeah,
And LA's like Swiss cheese, dude.
yeah, it's a lot easier. Fernando Adi scored a good goal last night. He's probably going to be the under-owned option here. Thing with Adi, he's doing exactly what I thought he'd do this year and score. I think he's had 3 or 4 goals already this year, which is a good sign for him.
I think last night was 5.
It was his 5th? Damn.
Yeah, because he has 2 braces, and then he was scoreless in the other 2, and then last night was his 5th.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always liked Fernando Adi. I've always thought he can go off at any moment. He missed that penalty, yeah, so what? But Portland has 2 home games. Just beware with your Portland players that they do have a double game week, not double game week. They have a bye week in week 7.
Yep.
So if you have Portland players, don't have more than 2 because you're going to need to transfer them right back out. So, and you don't want to take a -4 on a single game week. That's not something I really want to do. I had to do it this week. I don't know why.
I did it too. Just the way the cookie crumbled.
Yeah, screw it. I've had a lot of people talk to me. They're considering as high up to -12s this week.
Good luck with that.
I am too, technically, but that's because my team was so bad last week. I mean, you gotta lose some of the games, some I guess. Get an extra double game week player in there. I'm hopefully going for 10 double game week players. So the only person on my team that I'm planning on not having a double game week is Ignacio Piatti, who is playing at Chicago, which, by the way, Chicago's double game weeks in week 10 and 11, and their defense is playing way better than expected.
And Jervinko won't have a double game week. Are you going to cut him this week?
He's not justifying his price tag. Yeah, I know he scored, but like I said, Toronto just looks so bad. Giovinco's having to go into his defensive half to get the ball. What? Come on. I watched that game. They just looked so bad, so out of whack. I'm just waiting for Toronto to find themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't had a home game yet.
Yeah, and
I think they have 4 more weeks of no home games.
Once they get home games, they're going to find themselves easily. They play DCU this week, who has a good defense. Moving on to single game options with future double game weeks. We can get this done really quickly. Carlos Maidana's back. I like him. Giles Barnes is okay. Andrew Wenger's cooling down. Same thing for Will Bruin. Chicago, when the hell is David Accam going to come back? Their center back pairing, Kappelhoff and Campbell, have been beyond spectacular this year. I think Chicago allowed 5 goals in 5 games. They're playing way better than expected. Way better than expected. But Kappelhoff is like 7.1, and Campbell's at 5, and I don't see any reason why Panovich is going to sub out either of them. They are both playing.
Kappelhoff is 7-7. Campbell is 5-1.
I mean, Panovich has really got him playing good defensively. And once they decide to actually play offense, they'll be a lot better. DCU, yeah, I know both their strikers had braces, but how many times is DCU going to score 4 goals?
That's the only one.
So, yeah,
Anyway.
that's probably going to be the only time they score that all year.
All right, and who are you going to captain this week?
Valeri.
And second captain choice?
Probably Faulhaber.
And who's your budget defender of the week?
Holberg.
Holberg. All right. You got anything else?
Just beware for the future double game weeks. There's weeks 8, 10, 11. For week 8, I do like Ronald Matarrita from New York City. That's just an option. I'll get to that later. But, yeah, just if you did poor last week, you're going to want more double game week players. But don't go too crazy with the -4s.
All right.
So.
Well, that's it. That's it. That's all for our time. Thanks for your time. Good luck this week. Peace out.